Sorry about that. I think I was on mute. What's up, everybody? Mic check. Mic check 1 2 1 2. We in the building. Shout out to everybody coming in here. Thumbs up in the chat, man. We're gonna do like a bit of a research show today. I know that people keep asking about this tribe and Wu-Tang. We're trying to get our schedules together. Shout out to everybody coming on in the room. If you want to actually get on the line, peace. What's up, Ashley Chambers? If you actually want to get on the line, because I would really love to hear from y'all. We got this new thing going where, anybody, $20 cash apps and up, donating to the machine, we get you on the line and we can talk some hip hop with you. I think I actually got somebody on the line who wanted to get on anyway. We got B-Town on the line. Let's see, man. He's saying that that it won't let him do it. Am I muted? No, I'm not muted. Okay. Let's see real quick. Getting these technical things going on. Shout out to Jadarion saying he's at work. Okay. All right. What time is the verses? I mean, we're looking at a Friday, maybe. I got to get with Coop's schedule or whatnot. And we're gonna see where we can go from there. But I did want to discuss with the people what's going on in hip hop right now and what y'all think Mike D should play in a situation like this. I mean, look, we can do this. We can do this, guys. We can hold on one second. Let's see. We're working out the technical kinks right now. Let me see if we can get our guests on real quick. Let's see. Man, everything is going on right now, of course. Let's see. Hold on one second, guys. We're going to get this thing going and get it going. No, it's not a station head broadcast. This is not the station head broadcast. We're actually going to get it going on. I want to ask for some help from the people. Do y'all think I even got a chance picking Kanye's production over Dr. Dre's? We're going 21 strong. I already know what I'm going to do with the Tribe and Wu thing. I already know where I'm going with Tribe. I don't want to, give too much information on that because I think both groups have incredible catalogs. And I think you guys pretty much know where I'm going on some of those too. But what I do want to do is with the Kanye production. What are some of the joints that I have to use? Like, what are some of the Kanye produced songs that you think I just can't go without? They say Ye doesn't stand a chance against Dre. Do y'all really believe that? Okay. Y'all really believe that. So y'all think that the production that Ye's done for himself, done for Jay, done for Alicia Keys, done for over a myriad of time, that's not going to be able to compete with what Dr. Dre got going on? No, it's not a privilege to speak to us. We just want to have a conversation. Actually, you know what? What we can do is, like I said, we got some people who are actually waiting on the line. We do want to get a call-in show going, and we want to try this out just to see how this is going. Yeah, Dre is a legendary artist producer. He is. But I'm the one that normally takes the underdog in these situations or the perceived underdog, because we want to see if this is even a conversation. So yes. So appalled. Okay. So appalled. I like that. This Can Be Life. Definitely got to be played. It's Mike Knight who keeps saying that I don't have a chance. Jay mastered all his beats and we'll be playing. Okay. Yes, Tribe does stand a chance against Wu. Definitely, for sure. Ye is legendary, but Dre is gonna cook him. All right, let's actually analyze this, because we have somebody in Kanye who's been able to do it over 3 different periods. I think once we get out of the NWA Death Row stages, how much of a chance do I really have? Because of course, G-Thang and stuff like that, man, that's classic stuff. But y'all do understand that Diamonds hits, right? I'm not giving him no easy W's. What W's did he get? I had the Death Row one. That was a wash. That was, I mean, I watched it with Death Row. Actually, 2 Words is one of my favorite Kanye records. Period. People will not stop calling me. Go on. Right when I try to get on live, people want to call me back and forth. Do we have somebody on the line? I know we had somebody that was waiting on the line or whatnot. Yeah, it is going to be pressure if he goes out there, and I don't think Coop's going to play explosive or anything like that, but he may. What up, Judgment Day, man? Jesus Walks, Can't Tell Me Nothing, Overnight Celebrity. Okay, Jesus Walks. Let's see. Of course, that's going to get played. More or less, Beats for Shine. Okay. What about stuff like You Don't Know My Name from Alicia Keys? Should I go there? See, now I like what CJ Kidd is talking. See, I know CJ Kidd is ahead, man. Diamonds, 2 Words, The Food, Get By. That's a good one too. He said the Black Slim Shady is a masterpiece. I'm with you. I'm with you. Devil in a New Dress. Let's see.
Your camera's not on, bro.
It says, I mean, man, dealing with all kind of technical difficulties today. Who actually wants to jump on the line though? Because I do want to talk about this with some people. So if you want to jump on the line, we'll get you on. We're going to go through the steps and just make sure that we're able to have a live interactive show with the people. Do you see me now, Mike Knight? Okay, I think we got somebody. Who we got over here? Oh, okay. Well,
Yo,
we
what up,
got
man? I'm kind of chime in about this Dr. Dre joint and
okay,
and Kanye, man. I think uh I think Ye got that easy. My
okay.
name is Ron. My name is Ron. I'm from Chicago.
Of course, you from Chicago. Okay, down and out. I see people saying that with Cam. Like, what five records you think I should play? Like, when it comes to Kanye produced tracks, what's Kanye's top five?
Top five to me, I'm gonna say Devil in a New Dress. I'm gonna say
Okay,
I'm gonna say Through the Wire.
okay,
I'm gonna say Heart of the City. Now
okay.
you talking about production or rapping, or it could be just we talking about just produced.
I mean, songs that he produced. You know what I'm saying? And full overall songs. Because I'm gonna be going up against Dr. Dre. Yeah, get them likes up over here, man. We getting
I
people in
mean,
here. It's first
I'm
time
talking
doing
about Devil in a New Dress. I'm talking about Through the Wire. I'm talking about uh man, I'll even go with Otis. You know, I'll go with
I
something
see
like
people in the
Otis.
chat saying Otis. They say Gold
Uh,
Digger is a must.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? They got Jesus Walks. You know what I'm saying? I like Diamonds Are
Okay.
Forever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got diamonds here. The takeover.
You
I
can
like
even dig
that.
in the crates. You can even dig in the crates to do Good Friday. You know what I mean? Or
Well,
Chain
if we
Heavy.
do, yeah, I could do some Good Friday stuff. I don't think that stuff's on streaming platforms. Now, if he played next episode, what would you respond to that?
I would do the corners.
Mm, two different energies, but hey, you know what? What about I gotta fit dreams in there from the game.
Yeah. So that's all I wanted to chop in, Mike. You keep doing your thing, man.
Yes, sir, man. Yeah, we get some more callers up in here. And y'all don't have to show your face, so don't worry about that. We can have you blanked out and all of that. You know, Ron from Chicago chose to show his face. But yeah, Soul Paul, The Truth by Beans. I don't even know if I'm gonna get to that. Can't tell me nothing's heavy. I definitely got to do Gold Digger at some point. Yeah, I don't know if the corner from a mood standpoint is beating the next episode. The next episode is heavy. I think I would have to go more diamonds or something if I went there. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. Next episode, I might have to go Gold Digger actually, or Can't Tell Me Nothing. And that's the kind of high spades to have to beat a record like the next episode because Dre got like 5 or 6 of them joints. What do I play for Let Me Ride? Who's trying to get in here and talk though? 2 words. I definitely got to use 2 words. 2 words is one of my favorite Kanye West produced records. The truth is hard. Diamonds won't play well in a versus. I don't know. I don't know. But the Tribe and Wu Tang is coming too. So I gotta sit here and think about Tribe and Wu and see where that's gonna place us as well. Um, I wanted to also talk to y'all about that ghostwriter conversation that we had yesterday. For the people who watched A2HH live, ghostwriting seems to have been something that started out in hip hop early on, you know, even if we go back to Sugar Hill Gang. But as time went on and as hip hop progressed, I think ghostwriting, the 90s specifically, became very, very shunned upon. And I do want to get, you know, you guys' opinion on our conversation about ghostwriting yesterday because I feel like some people may have thought, yeah, hit that link right there. You see that the StreamYard link? If you want to join the conversation and want to jump on here and talk about, you know, ghostwriting of this Kanye West and Dr. Dre thing, hit that link so you can come on in. But what did y'all think about that ghostwriting conversation? And do you think that there's any level of a pass for ghostwriters, no matter, you know, whether they're female MCs or, you know, male MCs or pop artists or people who are crossover rappers? Like, what is the where do we draw the line when it comes to ghostwriting? And where does it become one of those things where it is somebody wrote your whole song, or somebody gave you a bar, or somebody gets credit here and there? And I think that this is a very relevant conversation when it comes to Kanye, because honestly, Kanye is an MC. He's done a lot of things that many great MCs or MCs who are technically greater than him haven't done on a track. But I think a lot of that's discredited by the fact that he has used writers to whatever capacity. We don't really know, but we all do know that Kanye can write, right? What do I think about Drake working with Nas? I don't know, man. I mean, I think that it'd be interesting to hear. I think that Drake is an MC, and whether people want to give him that credit or not, I mean, he's a rapper. Whatever level you want to put that at, he's actually a rapper. He does this, and he does have a skill set. I don't think he's the lyricist that Kendrick and Cole are to an extent, but that doesn't mean in the back and forth with Kendrick, he doesn't stand a chance. We've seen the lesser lyrical individual get the best of somebody in any given moment. It's just all about how you approach it. I do think that from a criteria standpoint, Drake probably checks a little bit more boxes than K. Dot does. Shout out to Leonard Washington. He said only producers and executives get passes for ghostwriting because we're not putting them in the Go MC conversation, nor do they want to be in those conversations. No, that's facts. And I've always said that too. But when it comes to somebody like Kanye West, how do we view that? Because Kanye actually does check a lot of those boxes, and we know that he can write his own stuff. He did write Through the Wire. I would imagine that he did write, Family Business and records like that. But he has had help, but he is a producer. Because we do know that Ron Fest does play a part in Jesus Walks, but he made Jesus Walks what it was. It's a very interesting conversation as it pertains to him specifically. But I do want to get people's thoughts on just the whole ghostwriting thing. Says Ye produced Doing My Job for T.I. Yes, he did. He did. Great record. He wrote 100% Until My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. I thought that too. Kanye, Billy Bars with the super chat or says Kanye is the GOAT producer, not GOAT MC. That's where the line gets drawn. But based on his output, album for album, and let's just say that he did write everything leading up to My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. With an album like College Dropout as an MC and a producer, and Late Registration and Graduation, where does that really put him in this overall conversation? Yes, the liner notes are there. It is what it is. I think that, like Esquire said on the show yesterday, a lot of the stuff is kind of hearsay, and we don't know. But one thing we do know is Kanye West could put together a song, and we don't know what all he has written for other people either. We got to factor that in too. Hold on one second. Let me make sure I can get the thing together. But yeah, we got to factor that in too. Somebody said he wrote the first album, I guess. I mean, the first album, it's an all-time great album. And the beats are dope. The beats are great. The first album's all-time great because he was putting it together. And to me, when you see that elevation where he was from College Dropout to the Late Registration album as an MC, the growth is there. Now, if anything, crowning achievement as a writer, I would say it's Late Registration. Where he was as an MC on Late Registration, I think was special. Michael Brown says, that's a lie. Big Sean's pen is present all over Graduation. And ditto for Ron Fest on Jesus Walks. Is it? I didn't know Big Sean was around for Graduation. Big Sean been around that long? Some of y'all got to call in, man. I want to get to with the producers, man. How are we getting people calling in? Let me know who wants to actually, chime in and speak on this. Everybody start calling me as soon as I got on the live. Let me get on this do not disturb, man. I never thought I'd have to do this. Hold on. Let me go ahead and go in airplane mode real quick. Sorry about that, guys. I got to go off the grid. Off the grid. But yeah, ghostwriting conversation, man. I think this. I don't believe that ghostwriting in hip hop is the same as having a writer in R&B or in any other genres. I do think that you want to know who's behind the pen. That's part of the creativity as an MC and where it puts you in a certain place as an MC. But I do think that if you're a global artist, who we got coming in?
What's up, man?
What's up? Who's this? Who am I speaking with?
This Rudy Ray, man.
What up, Rudy Ray, man? What's on your mind? What we got going on?
So, as far as the ghostwriting thing, I'm gonna say, like, I figure like most artists, like once they reach a certain level, because Kanye is at a level that I don't think some people even understand. Like that's a whole nother level. Like it took Jay-Z to get on the Watch the Throne to get him to that level itself. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
Facts.
His international presence is something that, you know, people wouldn't even understand. It would be like, and when you get to those places, the corporations are more at say as what you do. So I think like in most of that, especially with his first album, you've seen it on the documentary, as much as he had to sacrifice to even get the album out. So they probably made him get writers to be on there for them to even put it out.
No, real. I mean, and that's one of the things I was trying to express yesterday as well, where it's like once you reach a certain level, popularity, those hits got to keep coming, and you do have more people helping the machine continue on. And yeah, you might have some people throwing at you that got some good songs or got some good writing skills, and do you turn down a great song?
At that point, the corporation ain't gonna let you turn on the great song. We'll
Right.
shelve your project. You know what I'm saying? You gotta remember at that time, it ain't like today where you could just put shit out. Like, I mean, basically Currency broke that. You know, he basically broke that whole I'm gonna just put this shit out over and over and over. Ain't nobody really telling me what to do with the music. And that's where it's different now. I think people look at how music is released now and how it's done now, and they don't understand that back then, if you didn't do what they told you to do, that music didn't see the light of day.
Right.
Like, it's a funny thing because it's like when on the ghostwriting thing, like I don't think too many people will hold Little Flip at like a high level.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember back in when the song Sunshine came out, I'm like, this song sounds different, like from anything he makes. And then comes to find out it was a ghostwriter behind that damn song. So once you get to it, because what people don't forget, before T.I. did what he did to Little Flip was reaching levels where he was about to be out of here. And, you know, that was during the whole ringtone era. And you know that makes things different when you like talk about rap. It's intricacies to this rap music, and that's where the ghostwriting comes in, because the guy that's like lyrically trying to be lyrically dominant, he's not looking for, he would enjoy the success, he really would, but most of the people that we have been blessed to have that lyrical dominance like that, they're not interested in, you know, as EPMD would say, they, you know, crossover, you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
most of the people with lyrical prominence come from that.
You're right. You're dropping a lot of knowledge, Rudy. Yeah, I mean, no, like you said, Flip was huge for the people who were there. Flip was bigger than, than T.I. and all of these guys at that moment. He wasn't bigger than Ludacris or anybody like that, but as far as emerging talents, he was a crossover artist, and that pressure to bring forth hits, they're gonna make sure you have a hit, even if you don't write that yourself. Now, who do you think, in your opinion, is the biggest hit maker in hip hop that never had to deal with having to get somebody from the outside?
Hit maker, like, is this like a consistency or they just had hit songs?
A consistency. It might not be one.
Yeah, I mean, it might not be one. I mean, because even if you say Jay-Z, I mean, when Jay-Z wasn't supporting Kanye being a rapper, he was doing them hooks on them songs on the Blueprint.
Yeah.
I mean, he was doing them hooks, man. So
Yeah, Jay had help on his hit records. Like if we look at the records that were the biggest records for Jay, he had help on them. I think his biggest record where it's just him by himself would probably be Hard Knock Life, but that's an Annie sample.
it's the Annie sample, though. You know that it pick up the slack. You know,
It
it's
does.
like I don't think people understand how much that can carry a song too. Like when somebody does a sample and it goes to the chorus and then she already singing and shit. Like Win or Lose. I mean, like for Mobb Deep, Win or Lose, the chorus how they rap over top of her saying Win or Lose, but even Getaway, you know, that helped. It's
Yeah.
clever how they did it, and it's not relied on like Hard Knock Life, but you know, it's intricacies of this, man. I think people look at it at flat surface, and also you got to look at music in this way as well. Like if you know our parents, like not all of our parents, but most of the parents, they were only listening to the radio songs too. Like so, you
Right.
know, they know Let's Get It On and what's going on, but you tell them to For You My Dear or any of those other Marvin Gaye albums, like the ones Leon Ware produced, they don't even know those songs, like, you know. So you know, it's a whole thing. So and it's also that way with hip hop, like, you
Yeah.
know, if it's not popular, people don't know about it. Doesn't mean it's not the best. That's the best quality of music available.
I mean, the hit records pretty much sell the records. I mean, it's always been like that. Like you said, you speak of those albums. That's why the label needs a single to sell those albums. And those hits are what bring you the numbers. There's not an album out there, and there's very few cases where there's an artist that doesn't make hits and somehow make and sells records. But if you look at the highest selling albums, you could point to an individual song or songs that made that happen.
That's a fact. I mean, like even on the Wu-Tang show, you know, ODB didn't want to do that song with Mariah Carey, and that
Yeah,
and that was Mariah Carey. He didn't want to do it. So
yeah,
everybody ain't for that for real. I mean, like, but that was a time where the streets predicted what would be a hit single, not the record labels. Because now the record labels is like, this the song we gonna go with.
Rudy, where you from?
I'm from Ohio, man.
Okay, cool, man. Appreciate you checking in, man. We're gonna get to another caller, man. But yeah, that's great insight, and you're right. The actual did y'all get Rudy out of here already? Okay. Well, yeah, appreciate that, Rudy. Rudy came with some real insight out of Ohio. But yeah, that's real. Those once you get to a certain level, the hits got to keep coming. Now, I would say this. I think that Nelly and Ludacris were legit hit makers on their own, but I do think that they weren't hit makers for like over a 10-year period. I think once you start playing the longevity game, there does have some level of help seeping in. What's good, LP? LP, you trying to jump on the line? I'm trying to take callers today. See if we can get the people to talk, man. I want to get back to talking to y'all and taking that to the next level where we can actually have real conversations. Because Rudy has some really great insight. You can't get that with a super chat. Jess, shout out to the real Leonard Washington as well. But that doesn't really, I don't know, that doesn't make excuses for ghostwriting. But in a situation like that, do we just separate the people who are the hit makers from the people who are just straight up writers, bar rappers? I think what does make this different than other genres is the fact that hip hop's kind of the only genre where you're not vocally hitting notes. So it's coming from your perspective. And like I told Coop last night, like if we found out somebody else wrote Dear Mama for Tupac, we would definitely have an issue with that. What about, Rick Ross is a good one. Rick Ross is a good one. people at work that can't actually join and conversate. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Maybe I need to pick some times when people ain't at work to do this, but I did want to kind of run through this just so we can, chime in with the people and holler at the people. Let us know exactly what your opinions are on this as well. Ted Hill had the most pain. That's shit. Okay, you know what? We can talk that too, man. It said Ali wrote for Nelly. Oh man, I mean, I've heard that. I don't know how substantial that is. And again, that gets in that conversation of, are we talking about writing for somebody in a sense of them giving them some advice on or direction on how to approach something? Or do y'all really think that Ali went in there and wrote bar for bar? You can find me in St. Louis rolling on the throwing on the Jordan House in the building. Jordan, are you at work? I want Jordan House to call in, man. Jordan House has great insight, man. I know we kind of been missing you on the lives. We probably got you on work and all that. People say, how do I call? I think we got a link here. Our producer should have that link. You know what I'm gonna do? What we're gonna do after this, man, I'm gonna work on actually getting a call line so y'all can just call in and not have to click links and go through this, that, and the third. So we can make that a little bit easier. Yeah, the link's right over here. On the screen. You should see it on the screen. But yes, Jordan House, come on in the room. Somebody else come on in the room, man, so we can have this conversation. We need this kind of dialogue. This is some of the stuff that we were actually doing on the Patreon that I do want to continue on to a certain degree, even if we do it for an hour or two, once or twice a week or something. I think we can figure that out. St. Pablo, listen, man, Kanye got tracks, and I do want to hear from you guys also about if you think I got a chance. I think I do. Imagine Ghost having a ghost for All That I Got Is You. Exactly. You know what? We can do that. Hold on. We can actually do that. Might actually do that. You know what? Hold on 1 second. We might actually do that. Might use Skype for calls because I'm using Skype a lot anyway. Shout out to Trey Mo. The super chat says, watch the Vlad Ali interviews. Wow. Is that new or is that the one that he did before? Mike Knight says, I have no chance at all. Yeah, man. I mean, there was a rumor that Ghost had a writer for Supreme Clientele. But again, when those things happen, I'm always like, well, where's that person who's the writer? Where's their level of Supreme Clientele? Because to get back on Kanye, where Kanye helped people out from a production end and from a writer's end, we saw that he gave people a lot, but when it was his turn to give what he had, it was that same level. And that's the only thing I don't understand by many, quote unquote ghostwriters. It's like, okay, well, where's your level of this hit? Now, there are some suppressions in the game and things like that, but where's Quentin Miller's, hit run or one hit record that matches some of the Drake stuff? I think we might overblow the fact that Drake has some help on If You're Reading This, It's Too Late. I don't think it should have happened in that way anyway, even though I think it's a dope project. But I don't know. Nobody else has come out and said that they've written for the man. Now, I'm not saying that no one has, but I don't think that it's fair to take a couple reference tracks and then just smear it all over a whole career. The rumor is Superb wrote Supreme Clientele. That is the rumor. Rest in peace to Superb. Supreme Clientele is one of my personal favorites. I refuse to believe it without, further proof. Superb did some dope shit on Supreme Clientele as well. Real Leonard Washington says, if I found out the Nas had somebody write Rewind or I Gave You Power, I would be devastated and done with hip hop. Yeah, I would want to know who wrote the stuff. That's where I'm at with it. Like if somebody is that creative as a writer and as an MC, because you have to be a great MC to even write that stuff. I want to know who that person is. But when it comes to certain hit records that we talk about having a ghostwriter for, like I don't know. I guess the notion is already the notion, but I really don't have a problem if there is a, enemies, not a lot of enemies, and you have some ghostwriting on there. Now, if you have a record that is just a magnum opus or even like an Eminem stand or just a staple, and you didn't write that, that's tough. That's tough. I think I saw something up here. Nadia Case, that Quentin Miller had a song Fleece, which is fire. Okay. I think the hip hop is different in the sense where everybody's supposed to be original, and it's about what you bring to the table, whether that's good or bad. And one thing that we can say about Silk the Shocker, I know a lot of people say a lot of things about Silk. Silk was an original. Silk went out there, had his own style, his own flow. He put his music together his own way, and the people who rocked with that. And I think that's the beauty of hip hop. But somebody like Mystical who's able to come out there and be original in that sense, and writing your own stuff and approaching music in the way that you approach it, I think is a very special part of this genre that makes it very different than, any other genre, because it's about your approach. I heard that Hammer wrote Streets of NY for Cool G Rap. Man, you are trolling, David. You're trolling. Yeah, Silk did have a couple joints. But let's see. I ain't gonna be in here too long, man. I just wanted to get people's perspective and clarification on, our conversations yesterday. Because I know we go through a lot of topics over the show's course, and maybe this can be like a type of time to, just recap those things. The Love interview was dope. I appreciate Love coming through and speaking when she spoke. But the ghostwriting thing and, the fact that we got Drake coming at midnight with some new music, I think that's going to be some exciting stuff to talk about. And again, now we have this Kanye and Drake thing on the docket. More to talk about. It was a package to the deal. Hey, they say Hammer wrote New York State of Mind. Who do you guys think? And you know my theories of what I think possibly was written by somebody else. Does anybody else have any conspiracy theories out there of who they think wrote a certain record that we hold very high? Here we got another caller coming in. Does anybody? Pusha T said Drake had a team of writers. Again, it has to be substantiated. Who we got in the room?
LP, what's good, Mike?
Yo, LP, what's good, man? How you doing?
Hey, chilling, man. Just driving this shit. Hold on, let me turn on my cam real quick. You see me? I'm out here driving, stuck in traffic in Cali or whatever. Let me get this shit off before I get pulled over.
Right.
What's
for
up?
sure, man. We want you to be safe, man. No, what's up with you, man? Appreciate you checking in. And
I got that good insurance, man. I hope somebody hits me. You know what I'm saying? As long as it's not my fault, I'll be all right,
What's your thoughts on ghostwriters in hip hop?
Man, it's bad. My traditional hip hop in me, you can't do it. You can't. But then, like, as I get older, I'm grown. I look at it like a lot of the fundamental shit that we grew up off of is a bunch of lies anyway. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like the more knowledge that we have about things, I think hip hop holds itself to this standard that it can't hold itself up to. So as we get on, we start seeing like, oh, these dudes weren't as honorable as they made themselves out to be. This dude wasn't writing everything. There was more people in the studio, so I think that to a certain extent, as I start having a more open mind, it doesn't hold as much weight in general, but my traditional side, it still matters. So like if Drake has ghostwriters, no biggie. Kanye, Dre, don't care. Nas, Jay-Z, violation. KRS, no fucking way. So I think that the dudes that hold themselves to that try to say, yo, I'm a traditional, I'm a hip hop head, I'm for the art form. If you claim to be that, you got to be that shit 1,000%. So even when the Quentin Miller stuff happened with Nas, I'm like, damn, dog. Like, why would you even be in a room with this man? You know what I mean? Like, why would you even let this dude in the studio with you? But I mean, they cleared that up. But
that's an interesting point, though. And you know what? I think that for Quentin Miller's career, that has been detrimental to his career because, like you said, people don't even want to be seen in the same place as this guy. So now, if you see Quentin Miller paired up with any rapper or in the studio with any rapper, people are assuming because of what happened with the reference tracks with Drake, oh man, they're getting help from Quentin.
Oh yeah, 1,000%. That's like being caught out with like cat stacks or something. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, ah, shit, you with that? Ah, damn, bro. I'm gonna question you. So yeah, when I saw that the Quentin Miller was even remotely connected to it, I'm like, damn, Nas, there you go with that bullshit, bro. You get this good momentum, and then there'll be some sideways. So like, why'd you do that? You know what I mean? So Quentin Miller, if I was Nas, the minute Hit Boy's like, yo, meet my man Quentin, I'd be like, hey, that's cool, man. You got to bounce though. You know what I'm saying? Right. I can't have you even remotely close to this shit.
With that being said, and we know the run that Nas is on, the incredible run that him and Hit Boy are on, if Quentin Miller does have some ideas, or anybody else has some ideas and come to the studio, should they not use the ideas, and should there not be any collaboration there, or how should that be handled then?
It depends on the perception. Like if I was Nas in the disclaimer, I would have put a disclaimer. He only gave me ideas. You know what I'm saying? He did not write a bar. There's just certain people that got smut on their name. You just can't be connected to them. It's like, and it's like some street shit. If you around robbers, it's like the 50 Cent job thing. It's like, yo, you were next to the dude that robbed me. So even if you didn't rob me, I got to look at you like you the ops or something like that. So I just think that if you got smut on your name, I can't have my name attached to you if I care about those things, especially in Quentin Miller's case, he wants to be seen as the writer. I think that he brings a lot towards himself because he can't just shut the fuck, he can't just stay quiet. So like who's another big ghostwriter? Who's my Sky Zoo? Sky Zoo is a pretty big ghostwriter in the game right now. And he'll say, yo, man, I ghostwrite for people, but he doesn't mention names or do anything like that. And what was even more interesting about Quentin Miller is that if you look at the Vlad interviews, the Nas stuff got all the traction. But did y'all see what he said about Big Sean, though? He went in on Big Sean. He said, I wrote all.
Nas, he didn't say anything about like I wrote for him. He kind of cleared. He said, "Look, I never said I wrote all that stuff." He just said I worked with, and I don't even like the semantics of how he be trying to do that. But if you look at the other interviews with Big Sean, he's like, "I wrote that." He ghosted me. He never answered me. And Big Sean didn't get that shade because nobody looks at Big Sean like Nas, or like a Jay or something like that. So if you look back at those. Or Jeezy. He brought up Jeezy in those interviews with Rory and them. Nobody's looking at him like, oh shit, Quentin wrote Trap or Die, right? It was only Nas. So I think that's to the standards that we hold certain people to. If you that guy and you say that that's who you are, especially in hip hop, you better be that.
That's facts. But this is what they should do, and I don't know why they don't do it. If everybody's working with this man to some capacity, why is it never featuring Quentin Miller? Give him a couple bars or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I guess that's why, that's where the term ghostwriter comes from. You're not supposed to be seen at all. You're not just a writer, you're a ghostwriter.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's baggage, man. I just think he's a bad deal. I just wouldn't want to even be associated with him as a rapper, a traditional rapper. No fucking way. If Sexy Red wants to feature Quentin Miller, do your thing. You know what I mean? I just think that at this point, it's too much smut on his name. It's to a certain extent, it wasn't his fault in the beginning. He got like dragged out. But I think that once he got a little bit of that fame, that clout, whatever you want to call it, he just kept on running with it. And I think that that's what fucked him up. You know, he just kept on playing into that. And even with this Nas stuff, it's like, bruh, did you write for him or not? Oh, I work with him. Yo, get the fuck out. You know, leave my room. If I was mad, I'd be like, yo, just, why are you here? You know what I'm saying? Like, stop it, yo.
CJ Kidd says, will Wednesday be Mike's solo days? Also, Mike, again, the people and good, the bad, the ugly for Kanye in a battle. I may use the people for real. I love good, the bad, the ugly. I don't know if that's going to be any Dr. Dre stuff. We're going to do these mic checks periodically, man. Yeah, expect them throughout the week, man. I love these conversations with you guys because I know, EP, you're always in the show, but, you know, we've never had like a full-out conversation, so.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised you didn't. I saw Coop at the Madison Square Garden thing or whatever, you know. So I got to kick it with him for a little bit. My man is the only dude in New York wearing an ascot, you know, like, and Coop stuck out like a motherfucker, boy. But yeah, man, no, it's always good. Like, man, this shit is dope. And obviously, you know, we're in a hip hop bubble, right? And I grew up. I'm from Queens. I was raised in Florida and all. I'm in Cali now. So even then, when I first saw that you guys were from Atlanta, I'm like, oh, these had to be the only two dudes that like Wu-Tang in Atlanta. Because, you know, growing up, the South hated Wu-Tang. Like, I don't understand what they're saying, all this math or whatever, right? And 3-6 was coming up and all that type of shit. So I feel like between you guys and rap roundtable, when I go to different comment sections, I see the same group of people. I feel like these are the only spaces where you can really talk hip hop with hip hop heads. Like I'm not talking to nobody like this in the real world. Like I'm in Oakland and all that. Don't nobody give a shit about who wrote what. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't exist in the real world. It exists in the internet now, and we're in a bubble, like little thing.
Yeah, we found our people. We found our tribe. You know, I was talking to Jar from Rap Roundtable not too long ago. I think it was in reference to the New York list or whatever. But I'm gonna have him jump on one of these mic checks, and we gonna, you know what I'm saying, conversate too. So it's always cool to collaborate with those guys too, because I know that we have these conversations. Like you said, somebody somewhere is having these conversations enough where we're continuously building on to this, you know, just this following of people who want to have these conversations, really passionate about hip hop and everywhere that's going. But yeah, I love it, man. I appreciate y'all, and these conversations are great. And we're gonna continue.
Nah, I mean, thank you for doing what you do, man. It takes a lot to even, you know, honestly, just like to put your face on camera every day.
Yeah.
You open yourself up to comments, to scrutiny. You know, you know, my dumb ass, I said you rap like a Montel Jordan, that kind of, you know what I'm saying? I be clowning. I clown all the time, you know. Yeah, exactly. But I mean, to stand on your shit, to have, you know, the average people be like 300. Yeah, think about it. You know, you and Cooper say something, or have 200 people thinking you tripping, or the Eminem fans, and you know, you going in on them people, and to stick on and to stand on that just by itself is respectable. But you know, I feel like you guys, in our reality, are really keeping what we think of hip hop alive in conversation. You know, even Elliot, who comes from that era and all of that, that man's chasing conversations with Trippie Redd. You know, like he wasn't chasing conversations at the Hip Hop 50 where he should have really been. You know, right? Yeah, just chasing the next whatever. So I feel that you guys found a good niche, and you found a good support base of people, and you know, whether it's Leroy or all the people that be on here, that's the only name that really sticks out the top of my head. Kaya and everybody else. I feel like you guys have a strong foundation of fandom. Yeah, Mad Max. You're right. Hey, Free with the 2 3s.
I want to get Mad Max on the line. I want to get Jay Short on the line. I do want to I know these Eminem fans have been meaning to debate me, and I think this could be a platform to do that. So, you know, We can
Look,
talk.
man, if anybody starts telling me about got no shell like Taco Bells and the Rapo Bell, I don't, oh man, just leave. You know, we're not trying to hear that shit, yo. I saw you guys posted that list of the top listened to albums, and M has like 5. And I'm like, nah, how? What 5 albums are people listening to daily that are hitting over 1 million? But then also interesting is how Jay, for as big as he is, doesn't have any on that list. And that might kind of play into what Coop was saying yesterday about, hey, if the biggest shit that he has is collabs, then it makes sense why people aren't jumping on full albums like that and listening to the full body of work. They're just going to certain songs. I'm actually surprised 50, Get Rich or Die Trying. You would think that would get 1 million views a day, but it's not, you know, so.
Yeah. And, you know, I think that was one of those things where it's like it was huge in the moment. And I don't think that in hip hop, we continuously move forward and move on. I don't think in hip hop, we have things that are going to continuously get bigger and bigger over time. It's rare. I mean, I think 3 6 has done that in recent time, but you still don't see like, you know, Mystic Styles or World Domination hitting the charts or anything. It's only Eminem. And so it's kind of, I don't know. I don't want to say suspicious, but he just has a different kind of fan base. I'll say it like that.
No, he's got a very white fan base that likes the shit that he says. That's what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and the thing is too is that my theory has been that hip hop, the way that we love it, it never sold. It never sold, right? So
Never. My favorite albums didn't sell anything.
Didn't sell shit. Even that sound, like, and even the way it's remembered. That's why I'd be looking at like Rolling Stone crazy. I mean, I look at them crazy anyway when it comes to anything hip hop related. So when you got Missy at number 2 and all these things and Stankonia, which is not a bad album, but it's like, oh, okay, you're telling us that you like that weird sounding shit and you champion that quote unquote experimental hip hop over traditional sampling and everything else because for whatever reason they honor not to say weird, but they honor when people step away from the traditional sound of hip hop. You know what I'm saying? There's no Missy album that's over Illmatic, for example, or Reasonable Doubt or anything like that, but they look at, I think that they so view of, oh, that's not real music when it's sample based and everything like that. So unless it's Tribe, and even they were kind of experimental based off hip hop, they don't honor what we think of when we think of hip hop. You know, they if not happy over like the bop it, twist it, you know. Oh my bad, I'm in a bad reception area.
Well, you know what?
But I think if
call back or whatnot, we got a couple of people on the line or whatnot. Great catching up with you. Great conversation. But yeah,
sir,
come back, chime in. All right, I'll talk to you. Okay. Who we got here? What's going on, sir?
Yo, it's Rigger Raw in
the building. What's good, man?
Yo, this Ridge, man. This Ridge, man. How you, man?
Oh, man, I'm good, Ridge. Good to see you. Good to finally talk to you.
Yeah, man, for sure. I had to call and tap in with you right quick. I was just out taking a walk. I'm down here in Atlanta too, so you know.
Okay.
It's
cool.
It's about 100 degrees out here right now, you know.
What are your thoughts on ghostwriting in hip hop?
To me, I feel like, you know, let it be known. You know what I'm saying? Like, right. We've known like Kanye's had ghostwriters, and you know, certain artists have had writers and all that stuff. You know, it's like it's really like the difference of looking at an artist versus an MC, you know. So it's like if we're looking at you like an MC, we're relying on you, we're thinking that, you know, and you're promoting yourself as the super MC, that you're responsible for, you know, all or most of the words that you're saying, you know. But as an artist, you know, Kanye West, Michael Jackson, or something like that, we understand that you're working with other people that may be writing for you and stuff like that, you know. So right. I think it's just like, you know, when you go back to the core of hip hop or what have you, you know, it was based off of authenticity, you know.
Well, I mean, the first hip hop hit had ghostwriters in it. I feel like the message had some ghostwriters in it too.
But I'm gonna just say, as an elder statesman, we didn't know this at the time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like that wasn't public knowledge. I'm sure, like the people that were around the situation and were there, they knew, but like the general public didn't know it. So like in this information era right now, like y'all was just talking about the Quentin Miller reference tracks. You're gonna find out quick, or you got Quentin out there telling people that he writing for people and whatnot. It didn't
Right.
used to be that way. So like one of your things, like you talk about, and I still got my old video of me doing the LL Cool J, what I'm saying? I'm bad video back in
Mhm.
whatever that was, 87 or whatever, at at the music park. Like that was the guy. Like,
Yeah.
you talk about feeling like Kane wrote for him and all this type of stuff, that would have changed the entire perception of him at that time, because at that time, everybody, you're supposed to write your own raps. I mean, I feel like, so it's like, if you update it to modern times, like you look at Drake, we know that Drake don't write all his stuff. You don't know where Drake's stuff coming from, but he makes good music. So to some people, so as an artist, we can accept that. Maybe he didn't write this, he didn't write that, but I like the song, I like the artist. I know that he might not have wrote it, but if he was coming out professing that he was the best of all time, or and that he was responsible for all this stuff, and then you hear these Quentin Miller tracks, it's just a totally different thing.
And he
So,
does.
I
He
mean,
does go out there and say he's the best and this and that, and he's put in a lot of work. But it seems like all of that work has been tainted by some reference tracks from 10 years ago. And I guess the question is, how do you move forward from that? Can you move forward from that? And like you said with the LL thing, listen, I have no evidence that Kane wrote anything for LL. It's just pure
I mean,
conjecture.
they was
The words of
Juice Crew, vet, Juice Crew. I mean, you know what I'm saying? You're supposed to look out for your man. But
yeah,
but that's the point that I'm making though. It's like, it's known. So
yeah,
back then,
it's
like
known,
say
right,
Kane did do that. It wasn't known, right?
right,
But like with Drake, we know. And so and that's also what I'm saying about like categorizing, defining the actual categories. Okay, as a rapper, as an MC, as a writer or a lyricist or whatever, I can't put Drake on this list because I know that he's taking whole songs or whatever from other people.
So
But as an
anybody who's
artist,
ever had a ghostwriter just is off the list.
no, I mean I wouldn't say that, but I'm just
Yeah,
saying, it depends on like the percentage or what have you. But it's like, so like for Drake, it's like you go more into the artist category, you know, like,
yeah.
all right, as a hip hop artist, you're one of the greatest hip hop artists of all times, but I'm not gonna say that you're one of the best, rappers of all time.
I think even
When
on
you
this album, let's just say hypothetically, the album that drops at midnight, he's rapping crazy on there. Like, I think even if he did that, people would assume, like, yo, he must have had some help on this one because we know that there has been help before. You know what I mean? Like, it's that whole
so
narrative, like
that's what
when
I'm
Fat Joe said that, people thought Pun was writing his stuff when he rapped good.
Well, but well, I mean, he might have just put some of that stuff out after Punk was gone, or I mean, Fat Joe whole style changed after Punk passed. That's just a fact of life. But anyway, but I mean, with Drake, that's what I'm saying about the categories.
Mhm.
If you categorizing him just as a hip hop artist, just as an artist, there, but like, so I'm not putting him into the category with, the greatest writers, the greatest lyricists, everybody. I'm not putting him into that category because I know that he's, a lot of his hits may have come from other people or he's had help on them. But as
Right.
an artist, you feel this or that way about him. Like I said, like Michael Jackson versus Prince. We never heard anybody, composed or wrote a damn thing for Prince. You know,
Yeah.
and there's plenty of evidence that they probably didn't because he's got 10,000 songs.
Yeah.
Michael
He
Jackson, we
writes
know for a
for some
fact.
others.
Michael Jackson, we know for a fact that he didn't compose these songs. We know
Yeah.
that he didn't, necessarily write all of these songs. Or
Right.
maybe any of the lyrics on some of the songs. But as a performer, as an artist, we rate him that way because he was great. You know,
He
so
created
I mean,
the choreography. He created the imagery of many of the times. You know, the videography. So there was a lot of things outside of the music. As it
yeah,
pertains
and then
to
on top of that, but then on top of that though, Mike, none of that stuff would have worked without Michael Jackson.
straight up.
You could have picked any, artist back in the era when he made Thriller and gave them the track Thriller, and nobody would have cared. It wouldn't have been Thriller if it wasn't Mike. You know what I mean?
Straight
So
up.
and to the same token, like if you want to use Drake for example again, a lot of the songs that he's made, you could give them to other people, and they, it wouldn't be the same. So
People keep talking about this Drake and Nas collabo. That's official.
I ain't heard nothing about that. I don't think Drake wants that smoke.
Look, I guess we're gonna see at midnight, man. This should be interesting. But yeah, I think we got
Or
some
he's
callers.
he's supposed to be on the album.
I don't know. I'm sitting here trying to substantiate this right now. That's why I'm looking down. I'm like, did Drake put out a track list or something that people are going on? Are y'all in the room trolling, or do y'all have any real evidence here?
All right, man. Well, listen, I'm gonna say this, man. Congratulations on all your success. And the growth of the
Appreciate
channel.
it.
Y'all doing a great job. We love it. We out here. We listening. Shout outs to the chat. Everybody that support the channel. And
Yes,
I'm gonna
sir.
email you, Mike. I've been
Please.
supposed to email you, but I'm gonna email you today. I got some stuff I want to share with you, and and get to work with y'all.
All right, let's do it. All right, I'm gonna holler at you. Appreciate you checking in.
Appreciate you. Peace.
All right, yes, sir. I think we got a couple of more people coming in. But yeah, as pertains to Michael, I have this notion that I feel like, how do I want to say this? I think that Quincy, he dictated off the wall. Michael was, basically his mentee, and he executed on that. I've heard Quincy say that Off the Wall is his favorite album that they did together. I think by Thriller, I feel like Quincy may have lost the handle on the great Michael Jackson, and that's not because of the job that he did from a producer standpoint. I think what really made Thriller big was the fact that Michael went out there and did Motown 25. He did these music videos. So he made Thriller in 3 phases. Boom, you got the music. That's one thing. Then you got the visuals. Then you got the imagery. You have outfits for Thriller. You have outfits for or an outfit for Beat It. You have an outfit for Billie Jean. You have a routine for Billie Jean. He took these songs that were on wax and made them larger than life through his performance. And yes, he had evolved at that point and made the music something more than just really great music that they were making. And I think that's when he kind of took hold of the reins, and it was like, no, this is my show now. Like, you're great, Quincy. You're all-time great, but I'm Michael Jackson. And I think that's where the roads kind of got split, because the success of Thriller isn't just on the team of Quincy, Bruce Sweeten, and Rod Temperton. It's the fact that this man emerged as a force and made those songs bigger than life through his performance, through his creativity, and really created the modern music video. The people in the studio didn't have much to do with that, other than the fact that they helped him create the music that he was able to do that with. And I think that's where, Quincy was no longer Michael's handler, for lack of a better term. We got a couple more people, and I'm gonna get up out of here, man. Who we got in the room now?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now. You were kind of going out.
Oh, hey, what's going on? This is L Dub.
L Dub, what's good, man? How you doing?
I also go by Raising Yoda. You probably see me around, but I'm just kind of switch it up a little bit.
I
But no,
remember Raising Yoda.
yeah. It's been going well. As far as like, I just kind of want to comment on a few things.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, so as far as the ghostwriting thing, I honestly feel as if that when there are several people in a room, rapping together in a studio, whatever the case may be, there's going to be collaboration regardless. I know Coop has spoke on it. You know, you've even spoke on it. It's kind of hard to not be in a room, you know, singing, you know, rapping around each other in the studio, making some sort of, you know, strides in that regard. Now, can I mention, kind of similar to what I think one of the other callers said, when you get to a certain point and you're a part of a machine, right? Um,
Mm-hmm.
a good example. Coop yesterday said that Drake has like 50 hits or something of that nature. It's really hard, especially when you have a lot of pressure from, you know, executives, and you know, yeah, he may be in a position, but he has a boss in some aspect, and they're expecting somebody, they're expecting him to make these hits in order to keep generating the income that he's paying someone in that regard. With
Yeah.
that being said, in order to do that, it's going to be difficult to try to not to do that all by yourself. I mean, what are you going to do? And then you're traveling, you're on the road. This guy has a this guy has a he's on tour. He has an album coming out, and he's still featuring on stuff. And you expect him? You think it's all about Drake? Now, granted, I'm not the biggest Drake fan. It is what it is. I'm just using him as an example.
No, you're
Now,
right.
when you have somebody like Love, who you had on there yesterday, that's different. She's able to do a lot of her own stuff on her own terms because she's not as busy. But just like she mentioned, as she gets to a point, you know, I mean, somebody's gonna have to help her in some regard. Maybe she
Even
can.
she's busy. Yeah. I mean, it's only so many hours in a day. And I can't
Exactly.
imagine. I know what my schedule's like. I can't imagine what somebody like a Drake's schedule is like on a day to
Exactly.
day.
To sit
And
down and literally write
yeah,
a whole album without
right. And then
nobody
have to
helping
make
you at
hits.
all. Without
Yeah,
help.
and then you're obligated whenever you drop to make the biggest record of the year. And you
Yeah,
just don't,
exactly.
I mean, I don't think it's reasonable to think that somebody can do that all by themselves over a 15-year period. I mean, as much
Exactly.
as we
It's
herald
physically
Prince
impossible.
and his greatness,
Hmm.
even he had times where even though he was creating everything, he had peaks where it was like, okay,
Hmm.
this Purple Rain sign the times, but
Hmm.
you know, everything's not going to be at that level. And to
Yeah,
have to stay
exactly.
at that level, you're going to need help. It is what it is.
Yeah, I agree. And I don't want to hold you up too long. I know maybe some other people in this that wants to call in,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
yes, yeah. But like, I just feel like it's very difficult when it comes to creating art and projects. It don't happen overnight. I mean, the Sistine Chapel wasn't built. I mean, it was not built. I'm sorry, it wasn't painted. You know, I'm assuming Michelangelo. I think it was Michelangelo. He didn't paint the roof in one day. You know, obviously, and he didn't do it all by himself either. You know,
Yeah.
so I mean, he had help in some aspect. He just was the
Yeah.
brains behind it. You know, that's usually how it goes. And now, as far as the Kanye, you know, I just want to hop on there real quick.
Mhm.
You know, what songs you want to use? I,
Do I
a
have
lot
a
of
chance?
people.
That's what I want to ask.
You definitely have a chance. I'm gonna tell you the thing about Dr. Dre, man. Like Dr. Dre has a very unique sound, and I mean, I remember when I was growing up and I would hear a Dr. Dre produced beat, and I'd be like, that sounds just like Dr. Dre, you know. But I've heard Kanye songs that I didn't even know were Kanye songs, so that
Mm,
makes him more versatile. And when you're more versatile, personally, I feel like you are a better artist in that regard. Dr. Dre may be a legend, but Kanye may Kanye may have watched him a little bit, just a little bit, you know, like and
okay.
maybe have a few strides. So I mean, they've already mentioned a variety of songs for you to use, but I think one good song you can use that. What's the song he did with Nas on Hip Hop Is Dead? And I don't know
Oh, you
what
talking about
song.
Still Dreaming?
Yeah, I don't. I know it's kind of slow, but if he plays something in that regard, I think that'd be a good song to play in his stead. You know.
Okay,
So
I'll put that in the
anyway,
stash, man. I
all
appreciate
right,
that, L Dub, man.
all
Good
right.
looking out, and you know, chime in whenever. I think we got a couple of more people. Dre is overhyped. Sorry, not sorry. DJ Mo, the youngster, is in the building. You there, DJ Mo?
Oh, hi.
What up, DJ
How you
Mo?
doing?
So, what are your thoughts on ghostwriting in hip hop?
Um, I mean, I kind of heard it. Sorry, I'm turning up my volume.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I kind of heard what you said earlier about how Drake's ghostwriter, like people kind of look past it because he produces good music, and I think I agree. As long as the rapper isn't like trying to take credit for like their pen or like how well they write. I mean, or like too much, then I think it's fine. And I think I just appreciate like a good song, a production more than anything. So I guess it's just preference, but like, and also like good lyrics. But like, I don't really care too much if the artist makes it to a certain extent. But it is more impressive if they do. If they don't have a ghostwriter, but um, I think it's okay. And yeah, like Drake for example, like I think he takes more um sort of like passionate about like his influence on music. So I think that he doesn't really, I guess, take more of like an approach where he says like, "I'm the best rapper in the game." I think, but
Yeah,
that
I
from what
think
I've
he
seen.
wants to be the best, though. I think with everything that he's accomplished, he should, want to get that credit because, I mean, honestly, on paper, who's done more than what he's done? And who's as accomplished as he's accomplished and done it for such a long period of time. So, I
Right.
mean, once you work that hard, it's like, you do want to get your credit. And I think this is the thing with Drake too. And I think it's very big of him. I think he's written for other people, but he won't say that. He could easily go out there with all of this ghostwriting stuff that people are talking and say, yo, you know who I've written for? And he won't do that. So I do think that he should want to be the best based on, what he's done and his level of consistency. And I think that's where these conversations come in at because people are like, oh, well, my favorite rapper from 1988 never had a ghostwriter. It's cheat. If people look at it as cheating, but none of these people respectfully have been at the status of Drake to have to turn in hit record after hit record.
Yeah, I think it depends on the generation because I
I was
think like
gonna say your generation doesn't seem
yeah.
to care too much about that part of
I mean,
it.
as you can see with other rappers like Little Uzi or like Playboy Cardi who don't really have like good lyrics, I feel like we're more about like production, I guess. But
Okay.
but yeah, no, I agree. And yeah, and you've even seen like I've seen Drake on stage with like J. Cole, like giving J. Cole his flowers, and he still calls Lil Wayne like the best rapper ever, and like so yeah,
Yeah.
Drake does that. He knows his place, and he definitely knows he's not the best like rapper lyrically. So as long as he understands that, then I feel like the people who like argue and say, "Oh, Drake doesn't write his own stuff," they really have no argument because it's not like he's trying to push that narrative. So I feel like he knows his place, and he's also tried different like types of rapping, like Afro beats and even like a little of the like British drill beat stuff. And so
Right.
he's very like he has a good depth of like his tool, like his like different types of music. So but yeah, I'm a big Drake fan as you can tell. But
I was gonna say, as a DJ yourself, like, what are some of your go-tos? I mean, is Drake a go-to
yeah,
artist for you, or do you go to records instead of artists?
I kind of go towards records mainly, but I do have Drake a lot in the rotation. I think in terms of like just general, because like everyone knows like good Drake songs, and like like an older song could take them back. Like, oh, I remember this song, and so it definitely is probably one of the biggest artists of like my generation. So I definitely like pull from his music a lot, and I guess go to stuff. I mean, lately it's been the 21 Savage and Drake collab stuff. That's pretty good stuff to draw from, and like older stuff too, off of
What's an old Drake record?
I guess old to me, like I guess like Crew Love, I think is a
Okay.
good song that I pull from sometimes. Not the whole song because it's kind of like slower in the like, majority, but yeah. So Crew Love is a good one that I like to use. And
Well,
yeah,
cool. I mean, he got some new music that's about to drop at midnight that you could use too. So
yeah.
I think that I think we might do another one of these mic checks tomorrow after this Drake record, comes out, so that what I'm saying, we can kind of talk about that too. But
Yeah.
yeah, appreciate you checking in, DJ. Did Youngster go? All right, yeah. Appreciate you checking in. Yeah, they're playing around with my screen. I'm not really, controlling the screen. But yeah, appreciate you checking in and being a part of the conversation. I think that we're about to get up out of here. I definitely want to check in with y'all tomorrow after, this Drake album's release. I know we don't do the Friday show anymore because of schedules or whatnot, but I do think that we can kind of do a preview of what we're going to speak to on our Monday show to really dig into the music. You know what I'm saying? But appreciate y'all checking in. Mic check 1 2 1 2, and ain't no 1 2 1 2 in the title. It's just mic check. But yeah, we're gonna do this a little bit more often, and of course, I'm gonna still come in here and analyze bars and go on my diatribes, this and that. Salute to you guys too, and I appreciate y'all checking in. And next time, we'll make sure that we have the smoothest transition for people to call in. I'm gonna go ahead and get a call-in number so people can just hit the line and we can just make this a smooth transition like that. And y'all don't have to worry about getting on camera unless that's what y'all like. But yeah, A2HH, hit like and subscribe on According to Hip Hop. Follow us on all platforms. And this has been another episode of Mic Check. I'm out of here.